I couldn't believe it. Incubi. Real. It all spun around in my head until I saw only black. Floating in the darkness, my mind kept replaying the scene over and over again, reminding my body of the touch of the incubi's lips against mine. However, I began to feel the smooth silk around me, and my eyes unwillingly opened.
Where?
I awoke to find myself in an unfamiliar place. Where was Mom? Dad? I was pretty sure this wasn't my room. Oh wait, I lived at my grandfather's house now. Of course it would be unfamiliar. I rubbed my eyes and surveyed my surroundings. I was still in the clothes that I arrived at the house in, but I was laying in a silk-covered bed. I remembered coming in the afternoon, so why was it nighttime already? Suppressing a yawn, I stretched my arms. Maybe I should order some food for delivery. I was feeling pretty hungry. I was about to sit up, but I suddenly realized that I wasn't alone.
You're awake.
Huh? Ah!
Since when was he standing there? And who the heck was he? A guy in my bedroom? Did we...
We did, in a past life.
In a past life.
There's no way! Sorry? I think I was saying my thoughts out loud.
Why was I apologizing? To a stranger who only said 2 words since I woke up? Wait, he looked eerily familiar. Then it all came back to me.
My past life, where we touched his butt.
Incubus. He was an incubus. He and his family, came here for refuge, and 2 of them kissed me, and then I fainted, and that's how things came to this.
Oh.
He was leaning against the far wall, looking at me. My heart began to race as I thought of the endless list of possibilities this situation brought me. I hated the thought of being under an incubus's power, especially in a bedroom.
Yeah, that is kind of awkward.
Alright, so we know that Be Calm is like a plus for his root.
Be Calm is going to get a plus for him. I'm sorry, my darling.
I instantly jumped up and grabbed a pillow, covering myself with it. I felt stupid, yes, but who knew what this guy could do? And pillows are the ultimate shield.
Do your worst. This time I'm prepared.
He didn't move. I guessed that he wasn't going to attack me.
Sorry.
One thing still concerned me, though.
I'm not going to use my powers on you.
Thank you.
Huh? How?
I can read minds. It's an ability I was born with. Each of us has a different ability, outside of our usual mind-altering powers.
Great. Even more surprises. I grew even more worried about the situation I was in.
I see. How long have I been asleep?
For a few hours. It's already gotten quite dark outside.
Well, where are the others?
My brothers are downstairs, cleaning up the blood from the lobby floor. And making you dinner as an apology.
Oh. Okay. That's unexpectedly sweet.
Oh, it's the least we can do after invading your home, and 2 of us using our powers on you.
Can do.
Can you understand why we went for
Give
him?
me food.
Can you understand why we went for him on our first route?
He's very sweet. We love him.
You've got a point.
Right. I had forgotten about that. It still irked me that they had practically taken advantage of me at that point. And by practically, I mean actually.
They did.
Even if they were demons, it was pretty rude to demonstrate their powers by kissing me. I wasn't some kind of human plaything. All this seemed pretty unreal. It was like something out of one of those romance novels that Naomi sometimes read. I wished I could have just went back to sleep and forgotten all about this. Maybe I should have just called the police on them. Then I would never have landed myself in this situation.
Do you feel well enough to get out of bed?
Yeah, I think so. Whoa!
Trust me, I won't let you go.
I'm not so sure about this.
I promise.
Okay. I trust you, I guess, sure.
Though
Good.
I was speechless. He was carrying me as if I weighed nothing. He was so strong.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
It's all right. I'm used
I
to
love
it.
that he just actually says that to her, though. Like, thank you! I decided to close my mouth for the time being, so I wouldn't weird him out or make things more awkward than they already were. Well, he didn't seem to mind carrying me or listening to me talk, so at least things weren't too strange. Damien seemed very quiet and calm about everything, especially with the situation we were in. However, there was a sort of longing in his eyes. When he looked at me, that wasn't lustful. It was more an admiration.
Because he wants to be human and she's human.
Once we reached the lobby, I decided that I felt well enough to walk on my own. As strong as he was, it was like he was carrying nothing. I didn't want him to make him carry me everywhere. Yeah, that would be mortifying.
Thanks for carrying me, but I think I can walk by myself now. Not saying like I didn't like it. I mean, I liked it. Not in a weird way, of course. It's not like I get carried around like that all the time. What I'm trying to say is that it was really nice of you to do that.
I started to fumble over my words again. Real smooth.
It's no problem. I'll be heading to the dining room then.
All right, see you.
He gently lowered me to the ground before he walked off quietly, disappearing into the shadows of the dark lobby.
Oh, hi!
Suddenly a boy who looked around my age, or possibly younger, bounced up to me. He looked vaguely familiar. Oh, wait.
You're Matthew, right?
Mm-hmm, that's me. Are you feeling any better now? We were all worried when you suddenly passed out.
I'm fine.
Really? Your face is kind of red. Do you feel sick?
No, I'm fine. I'm sure of it.
I must have been blushing when Damien was carrying me downstairs. How embarrassing.
Well, if you say so. I hope Sam and Erik didn't make you upset.
They did, but at least
They
one of them
did.
apologized.
Yeah.
It's okay. After all, I did hit Sam after what he did. And about Erik, I just wanted you guys to prove to me what you were saying. I guess incubi are real. I guess you're real. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
I wondered how exactly I got myself into this mess. First my grandfather, then a fight with my father, blowing up Lizette, and now this. I certainly had a knack for getting myself into sticky situations.
Oh, I have an idea.
He shoved his hands into his pockets with a cheery grin on his face.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Is he trying to do a magic trick?
Ta-da!
What is that exactly?
He smiled as if to wave it off. When he opened his eyes and saw what he was holding, his face froze in shock.
Wait a second. What did I just make? This is...
You don't even know!
What he produced from his pocket was a creepy-looking doll.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
The tiny knife!
God damn it.
Kills me every time. But kills me.
Get out of my room. That's my job. His face paled considerably, and he dropped it onto the floor, scooting away from it frantically.
I'm just jamming out to this music.
Get it away from me! It might be possessed by a demon or something!
You're a demon!
But isn't he a demon himself?
That's not what I wanted to make! I just wanted to surprise you with a stuffed animal or just something to cheer you up. That looks like it came straight out of a horror movie.
He slumped his shoulders and looked down at his feet.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to look so dejected. I mean, it's certainly unique.
You can have it.
You can have it.
What? I appreciate the thought, but no thanks.
You will take it and you will like the squirrel! Like it!
That's too bad. Are you sure?
I picked up the doll and waved it around him. It was funny teasing him. I'm evil.
Gah! Help! It's gonna kill me!
Alright, I'll stop.
Anyway, I'm heading back to help out with the food. You can come over if you're hungry.
I think I'll go with you then. Something smells good.
My stomach rumbled in agreement. I was starving.
Oh, the girl's awake.
I have a name.
Girl.
Excuse you, I have a name, you know. I don't really want to tell it to you because
It's laundry.
but I have
Should
a name.
we really care?
Sam, I will roast that tongue for dinner if it doesn't stop flapping in that idiotic mouth of yours.
Psh, whatever.
I apologize for his attitude.
Oh, that's fine.
Good. I hope you'll enjoy the meal we prepared for you.
For a second, my mind didn't understand what James meant. Maybe it was the doll getting to my head and distracting me. Ah, that's right. Damien and Matthew mentioned that they were making dinner as an apology.
Oh, wait, you didn't have to.
We insist. Besides, it's quite impossible to undo our cooking, even if you command us to.
You could have worded that better. That sounded really creepy.
All right, well, thank you.
Matthew put down the last of the plates on the table and bowed a bit exaggeratedly to me, gesturing to the table with a sweeping motion.
Ha, there we go. Dinner's all served.
Bye. The table was filled with various foods from an eclectic selection of cuisines. One portion of the table was filled with some elegantly plated Asian foods, one from each country, and another portion some yummy-looking desserts. And there were yet more and more plates than I could have possibly imagined.
Well, that's a lot of food. And it all looks so good.
We hope you enjoy it, my sweet.
I am not your sweet.
Oh, sweet? Me?
That's enough, Erik.
You're no fun, James.
I don't need to be fun, Erik. Miss, please follow me.
I didn't know what came over me, whether it was his politeness or maybe his power, but I couldn't help but take his offered arm. James seemed very kind and intelligent, but aside from that, there was something that set him apart from the other brothers. Not to mention he didn't really seem to hold much appreciation for them.
Miss, I have to ask, why do you
I don't
live
want to
alone?
tell you, stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Oh, well, it's kind of a long story.
I'm all ears if you wish to tell.
Not right now.
No.
Maybe another time.
Very well. Here's your seat, then.
Let me get your chair for you, lovely lady.
Nope,
You
no
can't
thanks.
see.
Oh,
Erik was very charming, and his smile pulled at my heart. The way he kept flirting with me definitely designated him as the charmer of the demons, yet there was little distance in his eyes.
By the way, I apologize for my behavior earlier. Stealing your second kiss like that.
huh?
Oh yeah, when I didn't believe that they were incubi.
It's fine, I guess. I mean, you didn't just get up and grab a kiss for no reason.
I'm not as forward, unlike Sam.
I disagree.
Suddenly, Erik leaned in and whispered in my ear.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
I won't lie, though. I enjoyed kissing you and feeling you melt in my arms.
I was torn between smacking him and trying to play it cool. Let's smack him. Smack him. Smack him.
Smack him!
No! That's going to sting.
Sorry, I panicked.
No, I was expecting that.
I feel like the only thing that would redeem Erik for me is if he was genuinely, like, a masochist.
Like, if he did all this and, like, with the sole purpose of wanting to be slapped. Like, this wasn't really him. He was just like,
Hit me again!
seeing my expression. Erik leaned forward and smiled proudly, gesturing to all of the dishes with a dramatic sweep of his arm.
I made almost all of the dishes myself.
Liar. Humorously enough, Matthew looked at him with a shocked expression, as if he was betrayed. His face changed instantly to that of a frown.
And I'm the Queen of the Nile.
What's that supposed to mean?
Me, you, and James did the work together, dummy.
It's you, James, and I,
No one
Matthew.
cares, Oxford comma!
Little boys will always make mistakes.
Matthew looked at James in disbelief, probably for siding with Erik, and he annoyedly swiveled back to Erik to confront him.
It's okay, Matthew. I have a baby face, too. I'm in my 20s, and people think I'm like 12.
I'm not a little boy. I'm barely a year younger than you.
Well, you certainly don't act like it.
I really couldn't help but laugh. Matthew seemed very much like a kid. He was adorable. However, I couldn't help but feel like, in a way, he was much more mature than the others, especially Erik.
Huh? Is something funny?
I can only find Erik bearable when he's not talking to us, because then he stops being so, like, purpley prose, and then he, like, shows his true colors. I see your true colors shining through.
No, it's nothing at all. Thank you for the meal, all of you.
Oh, you're welcome, miss.
Such a well-mannered young lady. Beautiful inside and
Yes,
out.
I like my organs too. Let's move on from this conversation.
Eric, knock it off.
Agreed. In agreement with Matthew, Sam cocked his head up and glared at Erik.
Seriously, you're getting really annoying with that suck-up act.
It was obvious that Sam was the bad boy of the group. He had this big, tough act, and it was obvious he was physically stronger than the rest of the guys. But there was more to him than that, I question.
Was there more to him than
It's
that?
because I fucked up the sentence.
I'm just trying to be a gentleman. The young girl has already gone through so much. She deserves a good treatment.
There's a difference between being a gentleman and being an obnoxious flirt.
Schooled even by James. You're gonna need some cold water for that burn.
By the way, I don't believe we caught your name even though you know each of us.
I'm Laundry!
It's a pleasure to finally know your name.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a nice name.
They were all comfortable around me, despite the awkward situation we were in. It was as if it was natural for them to be around humans. I guess that was just how incubi worked. I was still curious about one thing.
Excuse me?
All at once they looked at me. I don't know why, but having them all look at me made me feel kind of important. Like a queen or something.
What is it, miss?
I wanted to thank you for the food, but I still want to know why you all came here. I feel like I still don't quite understand.
Understand? Yeah, like being told a bunch of incubi randomly appearing in your house was perfectly understandable.
Oh, how do we explain?
We were attacked. We came here to heal. What's so difficult to understand?
Now you're just being rude, Sam.
I'm just saying, how is that difficult to understand?
No, I mean, what specifically happened, you dick?
Give me the deets.
Well, you see, we've been traveling around for quite some time now. Just recently we came into town, but we were jumped by this band of misfits.
Did you kill their probation officer?
So, in order to escape and heal, we came here for shelter. Again, we apologize for the mess we made.
It's fine, I guess. So you're all better now?
Yup, all thanks to you.
Huh? Me?
You see, beautiful, we feed on sexual energy. But we don't just get it from kissing lovely ladies such as yourself. We can simply touch someone's hand to obtain sexual energy. Everyone carries sexual energy, you know.
I was still in shock about their powers. It wasn't just kisses that gave them power. It was anything physical. No wonder I was out for a while and lost my grasp on the English language. These incubi intrigued me, but at the same time, I could almost hear a warning siren going off in my head.
Is there anything else you wish to know?
Well, what do you plan to do now?
Yeah, what are we gonna do now, James?
Touch some boots!
That is a very good question. We just got here and surely we'll be hunted again if we leave.
We can take him easily.
Not without more training, Sam. The result of that was clearly evident in our last encounter with them.
At that moment, I didn't know what came over me, but I suddenly felt sorry for them. They couldn't possibly survive out there. If they didn't know it was illegal to break into people's homes, they probably didn't know a bunch of other stuff. They would probably cause chaos over town. Or on the flip side, they could be taken in for questioning and be poked and prodded like lab frogs for research. That was even worse. Oh, Damien's reading our mind! That's why his face keeps changing!
What? I didn't even notice.
His face keeps changing. Because he starts off with that, and then his eyes close, and then they open again, and his mouth opens.
You can be taken to a lab and questioned for research. And he's like, oh god,
I think
no
he's-
thanks.
I feel so bad for him reading, and his mind changed again, his face changed again. But most of all, they reminded me of back then.
That's such a good detail in the art and coding, though.
Seriously!
That's a really, really nice small detail. Good job, guys!
I was standing alone. The entire classroom was filled with laughter and chatter, but I stood in the midst of it, quiet and alone. It was strange seeing the whole world pass in front of me with such vibrancy, all while I stood there. On the plus side, I wasn't engaged in any of the drama that might have arisen, like scribbling on someone's paper for revenge or kicking someone too hard. It was kind of nice just standing back and watching things pass by, and life go on. I had long before convinced myself that I preferred being alone. I often said to myself in encouragement, yeah, I want to be alone. There's no one I like better than myself, so I ought to spend more time with myself. But there was a certain bitterness that, coupled with being alone, made me feel so sad. There was a difference between being alone and lonely. I just didn't realize it at that moment. And even after that moment, my father, my mother, there was no one to turn to. I was so lonely. That's when I decided on it right then. I was going to see my grandfather. I didn't care if father wouldn't take me. I was going to walk my way there and see what he had to say about it. Me, a 6-year-old. I had never met him before that. What? Wait. I forgot she'd never met her grandfather and she was just like, I'm gonna go find him?
Yup.
To be fair, I've had worse logic as a kid. If no one else was going to help me with what I was feeling, I might as well have turned to him. So after school, I decided to walk there. I had no idea how to get there, and I was armed with only a scrap of paper with the address scribbled on it. As a 7-year-old, I obviously had great ideas. I soon became lost, and like I always did when I felt lost, I just stood there on the sidewalk, back pressed up against the wall and eyes looking at the strangers passing by. And like always, people continued to pass by, and life continued to go on. I was sadder than ever. I had ended up in a situation I was originally in. Nothing had changed. I had thought I was silly for even thinking that I could change things with my own hands. That was until a voice brought me back to reality.
Hun, is that you?
I looked up and saw an unfamiliar, but it was obvious that whoever was talking to me knew who I was. And from that moment, things began to change. Life began moving its rusty joints, and I realized that things were moving along.
Grandpa has a habit of finding lost people who need help.
I don't understand what the dad's deal is. I still don't, unless he found out his dad was using demon magic and was like, what the hell, Pa?
What the hell?
Suddenly, I had become part of the crowd that moved like a blur past me. I was no longer someone who stood still and watched others hurry past me. Life had changed. I had changed. Because the very person who found me that day was my grandfather. I had the opportunity to help them. Though, would I? I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if this was the best idea. After all, 5 demons in my house wasn't exactly the living arrangement that I had imagined when I first moved in. There was the matter of making sure no one found out about their powers. Thinking about them as lab rats made my stomach queasy. And even if they passed for humans, how would I explain having guys living in my house? Oh, imagine if my friends came over. They would practically think I was part of a harem or something. Oh God, imagine if my parents came over. I think my mom would faint. Who knows what my dad would do? I think he would have them arrested on the spot. This is hard. Maybe I should have written out a pros and cons list before actually having to make the decision.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
It was strange that I happened to remember what my grandfather said to me when I was little, but it did kind of make sense. They weren't in the same exact situation that I was in before, but I did want to help them out. I think it would ease my conscience and also make me a bit happy to give them help, as weird as that sounded.
Helping people is the best feeling in the world.
Clenching my hands into fists, I strengthened my resolve to speak up.
Well, you could.
What was that, lovely lady?
Ruin the moment!
That is,
Spit it out already.
you could stay here with me if you'd like.